The Blue Jays fans make their way inside the Rogers Center. There's a pending rain shower outside, so the roof is closed for Game 2 of a 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, tonight, Eduardo Rodriguez is on the mound. He's 3-2, and tonight will make his 7th start, trying to bounce back, Jerry, after a tough one last time.
Yeah, he's had a couple of bad starts, one against Toronto earlier, and, of course, last time against Baltimore. And Baltimore was very curious to me because for the first 10 hitters of the ball game, he looked like he was going to pitch a no-hitter in that game, and then he just ran into trouble as soon as he went into his stretch. So it kind of left a kind of a weird feeling to me, so I kind of checked things out over the last couple of days, watched some video of him, and I was able to pick up something that he's been doing in his delivery out of the set position that I think is tipping off hitters. And I don't think there's any question about it. When you see it during the game, you'll also see how he's tipping these pitches to the opposing team.
Yeah, he had a very good outing against a very good Kansas City lineup, trying to bounce back tonight against Toronto. Red Sox right now trying to get on a roll. We'll come back with Game 2, and the first pitch is coming your way next. Experience a new Audi A3 today. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Toyota's website for deals via Toyota.com. Pixels in theaters July 24th. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com. Kind of a cloudy, rainy night here tonight in Toronto, so this game begins with the roof closed in Toronto. The Red Sox and the Blue Jays getting ready for Game 2. Before we get it started, let's send it down to Garen Austin. Garen?
Thanks, Don. Hanley Ramirez is back with the team, and he took BP today. Despite Rusney Castillo being here as backup, manager John Farrell remains positive that Ramirez could be back in the lineup at some point during this series.
There's no changes to the roster at this moment. Rusney's here as part of a taxi squad, which were allowed for a day, provided by MLB. So in addition to that, Hanley's had a good day so far. He'll take regular BP here today. He swung the cage earlier, so he's making pretty solid progress over the last 24 hours. Because we're still inside the 10-day rule for Rusney, the only way we get him back on the roster is in the event of a DL situation. So if today, or if today was a day in which there was a step back or really no significant improvement on Hanley's part, that was an option for us. So like I said, the early work that he's done already today has been productive, and we'll take another step here in live BP shortly.
Well, we watched live BP, and Jerry, I don't think there's much doubt he was swinging a pretty good bat today.
Yeah, he really was, and he was driving the ball for power. He had no problems taking his swing, so it looks like he's very close to getting back in the lineup. Remember, it's his left hand, that's the bottom hand on the bat, but which is so important for hitting, and of course his glove hand. So I think it's not going to be too much longer before we see Ramirez in a pinch hitting role or back in as a starting player.
We saw some long home runs in this batting practice.
Yes, we did.
Here did not have any problems whatsoever, so maybe even tonight or tomorrow at some point for Hanley Ramirez. Well, the Blue Jays are taking the field, so check out the Red Sox lineup. It's brought to you by your Eastern Hyundai dealers. It is Mookie Betts at the top of the order and in center field with Brock Holt at second base. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop, bats third with Big Papi David Ortiz, the DH. Pablo Sandoval at third base with Mike Napoli at first base batting sixth. Alejandro De Aza has been very good for the Red Sox in left field. Blake Swihart does the catching with Jackie Bradley Jr. in right field batting ninth. Toronto Blue Jays starting pitcher presented by your New England Nissan dealers. Marco Estrada makes his 17th start of the year. 5-3 with a 3.45 earned run average, 63 strikeouts and 23 walks. And opponents hitting at .210 against Estrada. Wednesday against Tampa Bay ended up with a no decision, but it wasn't his fault. He went 8 2/3, only giving up 2 hits, no runs, and struck out 10 along the way.
The Blue Jays defense is brought to you by DraftKings, and they are 6th in the league with 41 errors in 78 games. Danny Valencia will be at third base. Jose Reyes, the shortstop. Devin Travis at second, and Edwin Encarnacion, the first baseman. Left to right, Chris Colabello, Kevin Pillar, and Jose Bautista. And Deanna Navarro doing the catching for Estrada.
Mookie Betts standing in to lead it off here. Marco Estrada started the year in the bullpen, now in the rotation. And this one back up the middle, but ranging is Travis. Little bobble. His throw is not going to be dug out by Encarnacion. And Mookie Betts will reach.
Well, any little bobble at all by any infielder with Mookie Betts running is going to be a problem. And that little bobble right there caused Travis to rush to throw to first base. And Betts is going to beat it out. I would guess that would probably go as an error on Travis.
E4 on Devin Travis as the lead runner on for the Red Sox here in the first inning, and it brings up Brock Holt. Good size lead at first as always by Betts as Holt will take strike one. So he's got 1 foot on the carpet at first base, and Mookie gains that full lead over there.
Yeah, we mentioned it many times, Don. He gets one of the biggest leads I've ever seen.
Checking on him is Estrada, and back to the bag is Betts.
And no problem getting back, diving that time to first base by Mookie Betts. See the numbers: 12 steals in 14 attempts. 1 foot on the carpet, back easily.
Also take a pitch outside, and it's 1-1 now to Brock. 1 for 3 last night with an RBI and a walk. So far 3 for 15 on the road trip for the Red Sox. That of course began in St. Petersburg, Florida, and continues here in the midst of a 4-game series against Toronto. There goes Betts as Holt hits a fly ball to center. Pillar started in. Now he goes back and recovers to make the catch. His first 2 steps were in, but he goes back and reels it in as Betts gets back to the bag at first with 1 away. But tonight's umpires are brought to you by Buick. Experience a new Buick lineup during this year's Sign and Drive. See your local Buick dealer today. Well, Little has a plate. Jerry Davis, the crew chief at first base, with Phil Cuzzi at second base, and Tony Randazzo at third.
See Mookie peeking in to see if he can see a breaking ball sign from the catcher. A lot of base runners do that. They'll get to first base and they'll see if there's a little opening that they can see with right-handed hitters at the plate. Try to pick up what pitch the pitcher is throwing. If it's off speed, that's a good pitch to go on.
Bogaerts taking, and it's a little bit low. He's ahead 2-0. Broke a scoreless tie with a 2-run double and last night's win for the Red Sox. Bogarts 1 for 4 here last night with a double, 2 RBIs. Batting here in the first inning with Mookie Betts at first and 1 away. There's a strike, 2-1.
Fastball not overpowering, 90-91 from Estrada. I actually saw that game that he pitched against Tampa Bay and had that no-hitter broken up with an infield single in the 8th inning. And there's nothing overpowering. Fastball, cut fastball, breaking ball, changeup. But his control was on that day.
Well, Blue Jays are very excited about his progress and the way he has pitched as part of this rotation for the Jays.
He's 2-0 already this year against the Red Sox. 1 to win in a start and 1 in relief.
All 4 of his career appearances have come at Fenway Park.
All 4. That's right, Don. Yep.
First time that he's faced the Red Sox here in Toronto. Saw his arsenal. Two-2 pitch. That's not going as Bogarts takes it inside. Full count.
He'll be going here on 3-2 with 1 out.
David Ortiz on deck. 1 out, 1 on here in the Boston first inning. There goes Betts, and it's ball 4. Down to first base goes Bogarts. So the walk for Xander Bogarts. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. SAP is presented by Diplomatico Rum. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
The Sox have 2 on, 1 away. An error and a walk. First 2 base runners of the night for the Red Sox, and a chance here for David Ortiz. 228, 12 homers, and 35 runs batted in. David 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. And he had a home run earlier this season off Marco Estrada at Fenway Park.
High fastball that time to Ortiz that he takes out of the ballpark with a home run into the Blue Jay bullpen.
Two on, 1 away here. Big Papi standing in. Shift on in the infield as Ortiz takes strike 1. Picks up that outside corner.
And he starts him off with a changeup that time. No fastball.
Estrada broke into the big leagues with Washington. Stops in Milwaukee and now here in Toronto. Was traded for Adam Lind November of last year. Of course, the former first baseman for the Jays. 0-2. Mookie Betts at second base. Xander Bogarts at first with 1 out. Fouled back, and it's still 0-2. Everything's been away so far to David.
2 changeups and a fastball so far to Ortiz, and everything, as Don mentioned, away from him. The changeups and the fastball.
And the Blue Jays with a loss last night fall to 41-37. Still just a game back of the Orioles and Rays. And everybody losing last night. Red Sox had a chance to gain a game. Now 7 games off the pace. Red Sox on the road away from Fenway, 18-23 on the year. Won 3 of 4 games on this current road trip. Ortiz will slap it foul off to the left. Red Sox making Estrada work here in the first inning. Well, it's inning at 2-10 against Estrada. Away again, too far outside. That's reached on an error by the second baseman Travis. Bogart's on a walk, with Holt flying out to center in between. Ortiz jolts this out towards deep left center field. Pilar moving back to make the catch as the runners return to their respective bases without two down. Ortiz out to a deep part of the ballpark, but he's out number 2.
Let's see how Estrada goes against David Ortiz. He started off with soft stuff, 2 changeups in a row, back to back, both away from David Ortiz. Then he goes to 3 fastballs all away, 1 fouled off, 1 high, and another one fouled off by Ortiz. Then back to the change. Doubles up on the changeup, and the last one hit very well by David Ortiz, but not far enough.
David retired here. Runners at first and second, 2 down for Pablo Sandoval. We'll stay away from Pablo for ball 1. Sandoval last night 0 for 4 in the game. 270 average on the season, 7 homers and 26 runs batted in. Last 19 games has seen his average jump from 239 up to 270 where it starts tonight. Two and 0. Leading Red Sox hitter against right-handed pitching right now at 320. Of course, batting exclusively now from the left side. Swing and a miss that time on a pitch down.
So far, a lot of changeups from Estrada here in the first inning, and they have all been away from the left-handed hitters, Ortiz and now Sandoval.
One problem has been home runs for Estrada. He's given up 34 over his last 28 starts, dating back to last year. That'll bounce in for ball 3. Using Deoner Navarro as his catcher, so John Gibbons has kept that battery intact. So Russell Martin getting the night off, such a big part of this Blue Jays offensive attack, but tonight he is on the bench to begin the game because of the job that Navarro's done catching Estrada. Runners go. Pitch is high, and that's ball 4. Down to first base goes Sandoval. So 2 walks here in the first inning for Estrada, and now the bases are loaded for Boston here in the first inning.
Yeah, if anything here for the Red Sox, and they have certainly made him throw a lot of pitches here in the first inning. Now they need a key base hit from Napoli.
Well, Napoli hitting at an even 200 coming into tonight's game. 10 homers and 29 runs batted in. Napoli 0 for 3 with a walk here last night. 0 for his last 7 at the plate. Strike 1, and that's a tough strike call.
Yeah. It seems like most of the bad calls are going against Napoli, and he kind of boiled over the other day a little bit, but that pitch up in the zone, that's a cut fastball from Estrada.
Now a fly ball foul, and Napoli finds himself down 0-2. That's at third. Bogart's at second. Sandoval at first. 2 down in the first. .298 career hitter in this spot. 6 grand slams for Napoli. 0 for 3 this year.
Tries to elevate on the 0-2 count, see if Napoli will chase it. That time he did not.
One-two pitch to Napoli. Off the outside edge.
Well, the fans didn't like it, but the pitch wasn't really all that close. Even when Navarro, the catcher, moved the glove, he still didn't have the plate.
Full count now. Well, Estrada's not given up a hit in this inning. It has been a taxing inning for the right-handed starter for the Blue Jays. Second full count of this inning. He's already walked 2 in the inning. Bases loaded, 2 down. Everybody here in motion. Napoli fouls it back.
92 with a very straight fastball that time. A little bit away from Napoli from Estrada. I think Napoli would love to have that pitch back again. It was to the outside part of the plate, but still a good pitch to hit.
Napoli with 12 home runs in 39 career games here at the Rogers Center. Chance to put the Sox on top here in the first inning. Napoli will take the walk, and the Red Sox will take a lead. Third walk of the inning, and the Red Sox grab a run without the benefit of a hit. An RBI for Napoli, and here comes Pete Walker, the pitching coach.
Well, he very quickly got ahead of Napoli, but then lost him completely, and the pitch count continues to rise here in the first inning for Estrada. A lot of this set up by the very first batter, Mookie Betts, who reached on an error. It could have been one easy out. Instead, they had Betts at first base. And bad control here in the first inning for Estrada. 3 walks.
Bases filled with Red Sox as Alejandro De Aza is coming up here.
Mookie Betts leading off the game. Should have been the first out of the game. Instead, dropped by Travis, and that kind of got things started for the Red Sox.
Since then, 3 walks and a run now for Boston. Highly De Aza and what he has been able to do. It's been a pleasant surprise for the Red Sox. Really a good contributor.
And it came at just the right time when Hanley Ramirez had the bad hand and cannot play, and you get De Aza hot out in left field, playing good offense and playing good defense.
3 for 4 last night with a triple, and defensively with an outfield assist as well. Expecting the return of Hanley tomorrow or the next day in this series. And took good batting practice here tonight. Did not appear to be experiencing any pain whatsoever. 3-0. De Aza on 4 pitches, walks down to first base. In from third comes Bogarts. That is 4 walks in the first inning and a 2-0 Red Sox lead.
Isn't that a beautiful thing? Back-to-back walks with the bases loaded. Todd Redmond already loosening up in the bullpen.
This ties a season high in walks, and it's come in the first inning in 2/3 of an inning so far. RBI from Napoli and RBI for De Aza. And Blake Swihart now the batter. Strike 1.
So he goes to a cut fastball, picks up a strike on the inside corner, and Swihart, after seeing 3 consecutive guys walk, takes the first pitch like he should.
Career high for Estrada in walks is 5, so he's 1 shy of that here in the first inning. Swihart fouls it off to the left out of play.
Another cut fastball inside.
Sandy Leon caught last night's game. Swihart tonight. Sandoval, Napoli, Diaz take up the bases. 1-2.
Well, Estrada wanted that, but that wasn't really that close either. Yelling out of the dugout coming from the Toronto Blue Jays, but that ball's a baseball outside.
Two and two. Swihart comes in with a 5-game hitting streak. Made for 14 during the 5-game hitting streak at 444. Went around and strikes out. He didn't think he did. Rung up by the home plate umpire, but the Red Sox take a 2-0 lead.
To the bottom of the first, and we talked on in the open about how last outing Rodriguez had no hit stuff for 3 innings, and then all of a sudden everything broke loose for him. And we looked at tape this afternoon, and we picked up right there, if you see on the left, the fastball, how he was throwing it, where his head and glove was. And this is early. This is before he comes to the set position. Now watch the changeup. Look at his head and his glove, how it's dipped down low. That's the changeup, and the same thing on the slider. So off-speed pitches, his head was dipping down low, his glove was up high behind his ear. Okay, that's the 2 of them. Now the 3rd one. Here's the slider. A great off-speed pitch again. So it was clear the difference between his fastball, his changeup, and his slider, his off-speed pitches. Well, we can kind of break down. You see the position of the fastball on the left, his head. Now look at the changeup and the slider on the middle and the right. The difference in his head, and that's exactly what Baltimore hitters were picking up. Now Toronto also beat him up earlier this season. We wonder if they had his pitches.
To short, knocked down by Bogarts, but reaching will be Jose Reyes. That's a big hit for Reyes to start the bottom of the 1st inning.
We'll revisit that in a little bit.
Lead runner on, and Josh Donaldson digging in. Mookie Betts, center fielder, over towards right center. Donaldson having a great year. 301, 18 homers, 49 runs batted in. Leading vote getter right now in the American League for the All-Star team. And great first year here with the Blue Jays. I love him up here in Toronto. He has been a fan favorite very quickly here in Toronto.
Now, do you see right now what Rodriguez is doing out of the stretch? He's completely changed. He's down at the belt, nowhere near up near his head. Now that doesn't mean he's not going to give him any hits, and he's not going to get knocked around. But the fact is, there's no question in my mind after watching that video this afternoon that he was tipping his pitches last time out, and he's completely changed from the set position right now, as you can see. That glove will come set at the belt buckle and never come up close to his head.
In the air, popped up right side as Holt will make the catch for the first out, and Reyes remains at first. Let's check out the Blue Jays lineup. It's brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Jose Reyes at shortstop with Josh Donaldson, the DH. Jose Bautista is in right, batting third, with Edwin Encarnacion at first base. Chris Colabello in left with Danny Valencia at third base. Deanna Navarro doing the catching, batting seventh. Devin Pillar in center, bats eighth, and Devin Travis at second base as Bautista will take ball one. Bautista over his last 21 has been struggling at the plate. Thought he had a home run last night, but it came up short.
So did I. I thought that ball was gone.
He's got 15 homers on the year. Foul tip gets the home plate umpire. Red Sox starting pitcher presented by your local New England Audi dealers. Eduardo Rodriguez in his 7th start in the major leagues, 3-2 with a 4.33 earned run average, 32 strikeouts to 11 walks, and opponents hitting at 221 against him. Road games, 3 starts, 2-0 with a nifty 0.45 ERA, and that includes a win against Kansas City, which was his last win, and it's that impressive lineup that the Royals feature. He went 6 1/3, giving up a run. 1-1 will wait as almost threw it away. Napoli had to reach around Reyes to reel that in.
It's tough to break bad habits, and hopefully Rodriguez can keep to what he's doing right now. Once you get into some bad habits, you tend to stay with those. But right now, getting set right at the belt, nothing up near the head at all. And from last time out, when we showed you that changeup and the slider, the off-speed pitch is what he was tipping. That's what he was doing. He was bringing the hands right up to the ear and dropping his head. And it was so obvious to pick up the hitters. They could pick it up early because it was happening before he went into the stretch position.
So he got it right. The fastball, you knew the fastball was coming because the secondary pitches he was doing something totally different with his head.
Absolutely. So, and it was very clear when you put the circles around him, around his head, in that shot we had earlier. It was so clear that I'm disappointed I didn't pick it up during the game. One more look, and there you see the fastball straight up, the changeup head down, slider head down, and that's what they were looking at.
There is a strike call, much to the chagrin of Bautista. There was a strike.
That's not going to play well with the home plate umpire. The flip of the bat and the slow walk back to get it. Let's take a look at where the pitch location is. Fastball up. Does it get part of the zone? Yes, it does. Bautista didn't think so.
Runner goes. The pitch is outside. Now it is ball 4. He flipped the bat too. That's not going to press the umpires. He turns and throws his equipment back and heads down to first base. Reyes is second on the walk.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and they are 9th in the league with 45 errors in 78 games. Pablo Sandoval at third base, Xander Bogaerts the shortstop, Brock Holt at second, Mike Napoli the first baseman, left to right Alejandro De Aza, Mookie Betts, and Jackie Bradley Jr., and Blake Swihart doing the catching for Rodriguez.
2 on, 1 away, and Edwin Encarnacion the batter. So basically, in between last start and this start, they've taken that completely out of the arsenal.
Completely away.
And now having him where he sets.
Absolutely. He's trying to come set at the exact same spot for every pitch. And I'm sure that's on his mind.
It changes what you're doing, and he knew what he was doing to this point.
It does. I mean, he was giving away pitches, and now he's working on something new. And here in the first inning, he's thinking about that. It's obvious the way he's throwing right now. But you've got to make the change, or you're going to get lit up.
And of course, the memory of facing this Blue Jays team and giving up 9 runs in 4 2/3 is fresh in his mind as well. He's already faced this lineup and had no success. Falls behind Encarnacion, 3-0. There's a strike right down the middle at 95. 7th major league start. Reyes at second, Bautista at first with 1 out. Fly ball, right field. Bradley Jr. coming in. He'll make the catch for the 2nd out. No advance for the base runners. Well, you can take advantage of specially priced Red Sox student tickets. Tickets are available for every Sox game for just $9. All students 15 and over. Visit redsox.com/students to take advantage of this great offer today. Two on, 2 down. Chris Colabello, the batter, 337. 6 homers, 28 runs batted in. Had Lou Colabello here before the ball game. Had the chance to meet him today. Of course, he was on with us when we were at home at Fenway Park. An incredible year for the Colabellos. Enjoying Chris playing here this year in Toronto. Ground ball to second. A stumble for Holt. Gets up and throws to first in time to get Colabello and to end the inning. Done with 1. The Red Sox have a 2-0 lead. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Cloud covered Toronto right now, and the roof closed inside the Rogers Center. Ready for inning number 2 with the Red Sox on top 2-0. And between innings, Eduardo Rodriguez conferring with his pitching coach Carl Willis. John Henry here tonight. He was here last night as well. Talking with Paul Beeston right now of the Blue Jays. Enjoying a Red Sox road trip right now. It's gone quite well.
Yes.
Red Sox taking 3 out of 4 so far. 2 out of 3 in Tampa Bay. Win last night. Kind of waiting for the Red Sox to go on a run. Everybody else in the American League East has gone on a long run, and so far most wins in a row for the Red Sox right now. 3 wins in a row for Boston. They are trying to go on their run right now. A nice way to go into the break.
The way I think about it is, where they are and where they can go. And my feeling is, and we talked about it last night, if you can get to around 5, somewhere in that area around the break. I mean, that's workable.
And now 7 back.
And they still have to play better baseball, but they got to do what you said, Don. They've got to go on some kind of run, and most of the teams in our division have gone on a run. The Red Sox have not.
Foul tip and the full count now. Bradley, the only member of the starting 9 not to bat in the first inning. Third full count already for Marco Estrada. He threw 38 first inning pitches. Red Sox scored 2 runs without the benefit of a hit. It's not easy to do. Bradley to right field. Hit deep. Back goes Bautista, and that ball is gone. Jackie Bradley Jr. with his first home run of the year puts the Red Sox on top 3-0. JBJ going yard.
Oh, he got a high changeup this time. That's going to be toward the outside part of the plate and hooked it out of the ballpark for a home run. They're working him away. There's that changeup away, and he just hooks it right out of the ballpark. I'll tell you right now, Estrada's got nothing.
He's been so impressive the last couple of outings.
Yeah, it's jump on him time because he's got nothing right now.
Now Betts will lift a fly ball down the right field line. Bautista into foul ground. Nobody's going to get there. It's into the seats. Now, for every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Alltown is New England's premier, healthier convenience retailer. Jackie Bradley Jr. with his first home run of the year. Going away, and it is 1-1 here to Mookie Betts. That's reaching on an error, which opened things up in the first inning for the Red Sox. They would score twice. That's in there for a strike. They've gone 15 2/3 inning, giving up only 1 run in the last 2 outings against Baltimore and at Tampa Bay. Only 3 hits in those 15 2/3. Reyes throws out Betts. 1 down. Join the Red Sox on Friday for a special Independence Day celebrations pyrotechnics show. Following the game against the Astros, make sure to stick around for the pyrotechnics show for all ticketed fans. Visit redsox.com for tickets today. This event is weather and time permitting.
That's going to be great. Don and I will be there right after the game. You can watch it from the booth.
There is Brock Holt. That appeared to catch Navarro off balance. Holt flied out to the center fielder Kevin Pillar in the first inning. Drops in there for a strike. Holt 3 for 16 on the road trip and has played second base every day. The absence of Pedroia on the DL is Todd Redmond's back up again. He was up last inning for John Gibbons in the pen. We're hoping Estrada can calm down here.
And one thing they don't want to do is have to get him the bullpen this early. But the fact is that John Gibbons is working with a starter right now that is really, really struggling.
2-2.
That may be the best changeup that he's featured so far. Thrown a couple to Ortiz, threw a couple to Sandoval, but they were outside, and this one a very good changeup.
In the air to right center field. Pillar calling, coming from center field. And catching out number 2 here in the second inning. Marco Estrada's pitching line brought to you by Eastern Lexus dealers. It's an inning and 2/3 so far. 3 runs, only 1 earned because of that error in the first inning. 4 walks and a K. There is Xander Bogaerts with 2 outs here in the second. Xander walked and scored in the first inning. Center fielder Kevin Pillar over towards right center. Good sized gap out in left center. Two and 0. Estrada's won his last 4 decisions in a row. That's that one by him. 2-1. Fastball that time from Marco Estrada. Another one, and it's 2-2. Both have been by Bogaerts. The Sox with a 3-0 lead. They're only hit the home run by Jackie Bradley Jr. that started this inning. Fouled off to the right. David Ortiz waiting on deck, but there are 2 outs here in the visiting half of the second inning. Pitch 60 already for Estrada, and that one is fouled back. John Gibbons hoping his starter can find his way, but struggling so far in this one. 2-2 pitch. A little bit low, full count.
Good job there by Bogaerts. That's the first pitch he saw down in the zone, and it was a changeup and didn't bite for it. Everything else has been upstairs.
Bogaerts puts it in the air to right field. Bautista's got room, and the right fielder puts it away. Red Sox had a run of a home run by Bradley Jr. 3-0 Boston. Sox have the lead over the Blue Jays. Both teams with 1 hit in the game as Danny Valencia leads it off here against Eduardo Rodriguez. Valencia, Navarro, and Pilar. First appearance of the series for Valencia. 330 average, 4 homers, 21 runs batted in. Briefly a member of the Red Sox, Valencia. Enjoyed his time here in Toronto, totaling a 330 average coming in. Popped up foul off to the right, and it's 1-2.
It really gives him a good option, doesn't he, to give Donaldson some time off defensively, get Donaldson in the DH role and get Valencia at third base.
Now also moved to the outfield as well, adding to his versatility. He's a career .334 hitter against left-handed pitching. And in there tonight with Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound. Valencia batting now. Diana Navarro next. And Kevin Pilar expected here in the bottom of the second inning. There is strike 3 call. Valencia didn't like it. Thought he had ball 4, but rung up by Will Little. First strikeout for Eduardo Rodriguez.
Well, according to our strike zone, it was well within the strike zone, but Valencia didn't think so. Swihart set up away, the fastball away, and you'll see that it gets quite a bit of the plate. So we've had Valencia and Bautista both very unhappy about pitches here early in the ballgame.
Now Diana Navarro, catcher. Navarro hitting at .243, 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Ahead in the count, 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. Diana Navarro, 31 years of age, from Venezuela. Bat goes flying in the direction of Pablo Sandoval. He swung and missed, and that'll be retrieved by the third base umpire, Tony Randazzo.
Completely fooled that time by the changeup, an 89-mile-an-hour changeup from Rodriguez, and the bat goes flying towards Sandoval at third base. That's the first changeup that Rodriguez has featured in the game tonight. It's been all fastballs to this point. Look out down there. Tried to catch it, didn't he, Sandoval? Backhanded?
Threw the glove out anyway. This is right back where it came from, and Rodriguez makes the catch, or it caught him. I'm not sure which.
I think you got it right. The baseball caught Rodriguez. I mean, watch the finish of the windup and watch where the glove is, and the ball right in it. Thank you very much. That came back to him harder than he threw it.
4 in a row now retired by Rodriguez. 2 down here in the second for Kevin Pilar. 276 homers, 35 runs batted in for the Blue Jays center fielder. Heading out of the 8th spot in the order. Liner caught by Brock Holt at second base. A 1-2-3 second for Rodriguez. A 3-0 Red Sox lead. Face-Off Live tomorrow at 5. Andy Brickley and Billy Jaffe will have live coverage of the opening to the NHL free agency. Bruins Summer Face-Off Live presented by your local New England Nissan dealers.
That should be a lively show with all the Bruins have done recently.
A lot of stuff to talk about. Now it is the third inning. David Ortiz to lead it off. David takes strike one. Estrada back on the mound. David flied out to center field in the first inning. Shift on him on the right side of the infield. Jose Reyes coming to the right side. High drive, deep right. Big Poppy is gone. Yard. A blast to right field off the facade. The upper deck. His 13th home run of the year. And right now Estrada is fooling no one.
David Ortiz saw 4 changeups in his first at bat. He just saw another one. And this ball is just absolutely crushed. My. Those are like batting practice home runs.
Wow. 4-0. Red Sox have the lead as Sandoval lifts it down the left field line. Foul ground and into the seats. Valencia giving chase. Swing and a miss for Pablo. Finds himself down 0-2.
They went off David Roberts, the freshest name in nuts.
This one fouled off to the left out of play. Still 0-2.
Have you been to David Roberts, Don?
I have not, no. I know Dave Roberts, but I don't think it's the same guy.
No, this is David Roberts.
Oh, okay. Left field, and this has got some carry, but back goes Colabello. It'll take him to the base of the track, and it stays in the yard. Sandoval retired. First out of the inning. A's ticket has the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway, all with a 200% guarantee. Right now, A's ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games, including the Yankees. Visit A's ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. One out in the third, and Mike Napoli the batter. Napoli walked in the first, one of 4 walks allowed by Marco Estrada in that first inning, led to 2 runs. DraftKings.com is paying out over $300 million this baseball season. DraftKings has given out $34 million to Boston residents alone since the site launched. Get your free entry into a one-day fantasy baseball contest today using promo code NESSON. Napoli fouls it off down the right field line again. Todd Redmond has been ready for a while. They choose to go in his direction, warming in every inning so far in this game. Now a little bloop back at first down the right field line, and that will fall foul. So Napoli will get another chance.
That's interesting. Estrada got himself in trouble in the first inning with all the walks, walking in 2 runs, and then the changeup to Bradley Jr. for a home run that was away, and the changeup to Ortiz that appeared to be down the middle and down for the next home run.
Elevate here on the fastball, and it's lined to center field for a base hit right in front of Pilar.
That's going to be it, don't you think?
Thought it might have been hit a little while ago.
Yeah.
But here comes John Gibbons now. Was hoping his starter could settle down, settle into this outing. Just didn't happen. And he's got to get into his pen here in the third inning. So Redmond making his way in. Again, he's been warming in all 3 innings. Now he's finally coming in here in the third. It's time now for the Geico Red Sox moment. All season long, Geico will highlight the 1975 Red Sox in honor of their 40th anniversary. In their 79th game of the 75 season, the Red Sox beat the Indians 5-3. Billy got the win for the Sox. Well, finished 2 for 3, a couple of runs. Early exit from Marco Estrada, able to go 2 1/3 innings in this ball game tonight. He gives up 3 hits, but so far 4 runs. He's responsible for Napoli at first base. As this call to the bullpen brought to you by Kia. Todd Redmond into his 6th game of the year, a 10.03 earned run average. 13 strikeouts, 6 walks, and opponents hitting at .286 against the right-hander. He will first deal with Alejandro De Aza with 1 out and 1 on. Red Sox winning game 1 of the series, and tonight off to the fast start. Getting 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and so far 1 here in the third. Home runs off Marco Estrada by the Red Sox. Jackie Bradley Jr. and David Ortiz.
Both home runs coming on the changeup from Estrada. And never got past the first inning tonight. He just did not have it at the beginning, an error to start the game off. And after the second batter made it out, Brock Holt, he just completely lost it after that with control.
Alejandro De Aza walked in the first inning. And a swing and a miss. Fastball by him. De Aza 3 for 4 in the ball game last night with a triple. An outfield assist for putouts in left field. Since being added to the Red Sox active roster, is tied for the major league lead in triples with 3. Kind of bunt his way on, and it's a good one. Towards third, Valencia can just pick it up. It's a bunt single for De Aza as Napoli takes second base.
That just completely surprised everything. I mean, the way the pace of this game has gone, and the Red Sox are really taking control of this game. You know, Napoli gets a base hit, new pitcher into the game. Nobody really expected a bunt right there from De Aza. And he lays it down the third base line. I wouldn't say perfectly, but certainly good enough to get a base hit.
2 on, 1 away, and Blake Swihart, the batter. He struck out to end that first inning. Red Sox sent 8 men to bat in the first inning, got 2 runs. No hits in the inning, 4 walks and a miscue at second base by Devin Travis. Oh, and 2. Arsenal for Todd Redmond, first out of the Blue Jays pen tonight.
That's that type of fastball that'll run into right-handers, away from left-handers. A lot of two-seamers.
Redmond called up from AAA Buffalo on the 22nd of June. It's now his 3rd stint already on the year with the Blue Jays. This one fouled off. Ask of Deanna Navarro, the catcher. Swihart, little professional courtesy, looking over to another catcher asking if he's all right. Napoli at second, Diaz at first, one out here in the third. In the air, foul off to the left, out of play. Jackie Bradley Jr. on deck. Foul back again. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will make a donation to Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 commitment once again this season. CVS Pharmacy, the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. Much fun so far for John Gibbons in this game. Swihart fouls it off again. He'll see an 8th pitch in this at bat.
Yeah, the only solace that John Gibbons can take is he knows what kind of offense he has, and they always have the potential to come back in a ball game. They have a lot of guys that can light it up with one swing of the bat.
In the dirt, and it's 2-2. So the Red Sox have to keep trying to score here and bring in more runs. The lead is safe here. Inning started with a home run by Ortiz. Sandoval flied out to left. Single by Napoli. Then the bunt single by Diaza. Starter Estrada responsible for Napoli at second. He threw 73 pitches in 2 1/3 innings. In the air to center field. Kevin Pillar back a few steps. Makes the catch for the second out. Napoli tags and is headed for third and is going to get there. Wow. He was not going right away. It was almost like a delayed situation for him, but he gets to third.
Yeah, and you can see Pillar is stunned out in right center field, left center field, excuse me. Like, how did this happen? You can see he didn't expect Napoli to go at all.
Napoli broke very late. It was not at the time that he made the catch.
Yeah, that's a strange tag up right there. Surprised everybody in the ballpark, probably even Butterfield at third base.
So he's 90 feet away, and it's first and third with 2 outs. Jackie Bradley Jr. Bradley with a home run, his first of the year in the second inning off the starter Estrada.
As Napoli tagging up, he kind of hesitates, and once he sees, he looks out towards Pillar. Once he sees Pillar not making an effort to throw to third base, that's when he tags up and goes.
On a strike for Bradley. Jackie with a home run last year for the Red Sox. First year in the big leagues in 2013. He hit 3 home runs. Able to take Marco Estrada deep in the second inning for his first of 2015. In the air, shallow center as Reyes going out now. He will make the catch with Travis alongside. Home run by David Ortiz gives the Red Sox a 4-0 lead. inning. It's time now for tonight's Dunkin' Donuts Bowl question. Should the All-Star game determine home field advantage for the World Series?
Oh, man.
I know the answer to this, all right?
Yeah, everybody, please, text 2 for no. Everybody, I beg you, text 2 for no. The All-Star game should be an exhibition. Text 2 for no.
Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. One message per vote. Visit NESN.com/terms. Terms and conditions as well as privacy policy. Evan Travis, second baseman, committed a costly error in the first inning. 5 in a row retired by Eduardo Rodriguez. Grounder to short. Bogarts. One down here in the third inning. MLB.TV Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD and over 400 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. 6 in a row retired by Rodriguez. One out in the third for Jose Reyes. Second time through the order now for Eduardo. And he'll miss outside for ball 1. This is where the problems began last time out for Rodriguez. He started off with what appeared to be like no-hit stuff. He retired the first 10 men he faced, but second time through, everything changed.
As soon as you get a man on base, everything changed. It changed quickly.
Popped up left side. Bogarts. 2 down here in the third. Donaldson having the night off defensively tonight is the DH, and he's part of our key matchup brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. This year against lefties, 389. 21 for 54, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. 0 for 1 against this particular lefty tonight as he popped out to Brock Holt at second base in the first inning. Last night, a great catch by Donaldson. The shift on it go a very long way to make this catch into the slide.
Change up that time. We've seen not a slider yet in this game. We've seen change ups, a few of them, and mostly fastballs. Change up again, down and away from Donaldson.
Down and in, and it's 2-2.
I believe that might have been the first slider we've seen tonight. Not a big breaker.
Seemed like the slider was a pretty good pitch for him early on when he first came up.
Yeah.
And has not been the same since. Swing and a miss, and he is able to strike out Donaldson. Second K for Rodriguez. He's retired 8 in a row. It's 4-0 Boston. Eastern Bank helps make good things happen. Watch out, good things are happening at local people. EasternBank.com/good things happen. 4-0. Red Sox have the lead over the Blue Jays. Top half of the 4th inning, and Mookie Betts pitched on an error in the first, scored, grounded out to short in the second. Now this is into center field. Now the reach of Jose Reyes, who went diving on the artificial surface. And first hit of the night for Mookie Betts.
And Mookie Betts had been 3 for his last 18, and now picks up the base hit up the middle. That ball by Reyes. He just about fell after the ball got by him.
Lead runner on for the Red Sox for the 4th consecutive inning. Now Brock Holt 0 for 2. He's done the same thing twice. That's fly out to Kevin Pillar in center field. Redmond in here to log some innings. The season high pitches thrown is 61. Comes in the 3rd inning. Back out there to start the 4th in relief of Marco Estrada. Estrada charged with 2 of the 4 runs as earned runs in 2 1/3 innings tonight. Allowing solo home runs to Jackie Bradley Jr. and David Ortiz.
It's like Mookie wanted to run on that pitch there, but didn't feel like he had a good enough jump. That's hard to do, is stop like that once you've pretty much committed yourself to second base. There's Betts, looks like he wants to go right there and then just puts on the brakes. Maybe just a crossover step and then a stop to try to draw an infielder out of position. Good pitch to go here, 2-1.
There he goes, and it's a pitch out. He will be safe. That strike still didn't get him.
Yeah, and not a total pitch out, but close. I mean, the same effect. A fastball away, probably never intended to be a strike. And you'll see Navarro pop right out and make the throw to second base, but not in time to get Betts. I mean, Betts is halfway on the carpet with that right foot. I mean, that's a long way off first base. They're checking it now, it looks like, and maybe they'll want to review it.
John Gibbons is not giving him the word yet.
There's the jump right there by Betts after the big lead off first base. I think he's in there.
He's going to challenge it. So whatever they saw leads the Blue Jays to believe that it'll be overturned. We'll see. Second base umpire, also the crew chief, Jerry Davis, coming in, joined by Phil Cuzzy as they go on to the headsets.
Tough to tell from this angle here. Let's see if the foot touches the bag. I believe it does not. Take a look from another angle. Now from that angle, it looks a lot closer.
Yep.
From that angle right there, it looks like it could be overturned. The foot get on first. Well, that's. I'm glad I'm not making these decisions. I can tell you that. It's hard to tell.
Tag on there or not? I can't tell.
I can't tell if the glove's on.
Yeah, if it is there, then he's out. But I'm not sure it's on there.
I'm not sure it's on there. That's the point.
calling the field a stolen base. Taking a good long look at this one, as we have as well. Many different angles.
Many different angles, and from whatever angle you look at, it's very, very close. Well, here we go.
Now he is out. Wow. So it is overturned. Blue Jays win the challenge and retain their challenge.
Apparently the tag was there on that one angle before the foot tag that touched the base. Apparently there he's tagging it.
So one down. Holt now will pop it up foul. Full count. Popped up left side. Kenny Valencia, the third baseman, will give way to Reyes, a shortstop who puts it away. 2 down in the inning. Red Sox suites and premium packages provide a VIP experience for you and your guests. Call 877 Red Sox 9 or email premiumsales@redsox.com for more information. They're expecting a sellout here tomorrow on Canada Day. It's going to be a big day. We play day baseball tomorrow from Toronto. Xander Bogaerts takes a pitch in the dirt for ball 1.
I got a feeling tomorrow's going to be tough getting around this city.
Yep. In the air to right field down the line. Bautista has got a beat on it and makes the catch that ends the inning. 3.5 in the books. 4-0 Red Sox. Rodriguez back on the mound, and Jose Bautista takes ball 1. A walk for Bautista in the first, the only free pass allowed by Rodriguez to this point of the game. Has 2 strikeouts. He's given up 1 hit. Mighty swing there by Bautista. 8 in a row retired by Rodriguez. Full count now. It'll be Bautista, Encarnacion, and Colabello. 3, 4, and 5 for the Blue Jays. In the air to left center. Deaza and Betts, and Mookie takes charge and makes the catch. At Eastern Bank, innovation doesn't just mean making life simpler. It means finding new technology that puts your needs first. See what's new at easternbank.com. At Eastern Bank, you're first.
Well, the confidence right there for Rodriguez to throw that changeup on the 3-2 count and gets the fly ball from Bautista.
Encarnacion pops it up foul ground. Napoli and Swihart, and neither will have a play.
Garen Austin had the best chance at that pop-up because it was in her area right out there.
One down here in the 4th inning. Encarnacion gets another chance. 50th pitch coming up here for Eduardo Rodriguez. Encarnacion playing defensively tonight with Donaldson the DH. So this is driven out towards deep left center field. Deaza going back, and that ball is going to be out of his reach. And the ground rule double as he'll take second base out on a hop.
I'm telling you, Don, there's been about, I would say, 3 or 4 balls hit in this series so far that I thought were going to be home runs that have fallen short. There were a couple last night. Bautista hit one. Mookie Betts hit one. I thought this ball on contact had a chance to get out of here.
The ball kind of died to left center for whatever reason.
Yeah, it really has. And you know, last night the roof was open. Tonight it's closed.
So a double here for Encarnacion with 1 out. And Chris Colabello now the batter.
That's a good example right there. Rodriguez working out of the stretch. That was an off-speed pitch, and there was no hands up around the head. So the new delivery has been consistently so far with it. Well, the head dips here. Let's see what this pitch is. Notice that?
I did.
Change up.
See if he repeats it.
Yeah, that's not a good sign right there. What? A little bit late there, but so you change up. There's no contact anyway.
Out Encarnacion at second base. Colabello with a count of 1-1. To center field and in for a base hit. Encarnacion being waved around. Throw from Betts is offline. Runner will score. And the second base with a throw to the plate goes Colabello. So the Jays are on the board here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
How's a change up that time that stayed up in the zone. And Colabello to center field. Not a good throw by Mookie Betts in center field. He overthrows the cutoff man. He really didn't have much of a chance at all to get the man at the plate. And he overthrows the cutoff man. That allows Colabello to get in his scoring position at second base. See, there's Napoli right around in front of the mound, and the throw is way over his head. By the time Swihart gets it, he's got no play at second base.
Carl Willis, the pitching coach, at the mound. Bautista flying out, the double by Encarnacion, followed by a single by Colabello. Took second base on the throw. Picks up an RBI, 29th of the year. The Massachusetts native, Assumption College graduate. Here is Danny Valencia, struck out looking in the second. He's taking a hack at the first pitch, fouling it off Swihart. .333 with runners in scoring position. Strike called. It's 0-2. 95 on the fastball from Rodriguez.
This might be an off-speed pitch. Yep, 88. I think he's giving it away again, even though he's not using the glove.
So he's still doing it with the head, but not bringing the glove up.
Yep. Watch him look down. Here comes an off-speed pitch, changeup. Should be a fastball.
On the ground, deep third. Sandoval's got a very long throw. He'll get it there. Now taken off for third. Good base running is Colabello. He takes third. They do get the out. A very good throw from Sandoval. Deep third base.
And Sandoval going down that line and plays a tough hop, the long throw across the diamond at first base, and they do get Valencia.
Now heading out is Swihart, here to talk to Rodriguez. So be clear what you are saying here. Head down, off speed pitch, head up, fastball.
Yep.
Just that simple.
Right. And he's changed his hands. His hands are still at his belt. But I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Off speed pitch. Wrong. I'd have been wrong that time.
Colabello with a short lead off third, takes a walking lead.
Off speed pitch. Change up. You could really see the difference in the head that time. Something they got to correct between innings.
It's something he wasn't doing earlier. Strike call right at the bottom of the zone. We're at third, two down. 1-2 to Dioner Navarro. In the dirt.
I did it again that time. He was looking down at the ground and threw the slider again. So I've been right 3 times, wrong 1 time. Looks down at the ground and comes an off-speed pitch. Down at the ground again. Off-speed pitch.
Full count now. Fourth full count of the night for Eduardo Rodriguez. This is down and in, and walks Gianna Navarro. Second walk allowed by Rodriguez. First and third, 2 down. Pilar a chance. Bring the infield in here on the left side. Holt backing up at second base. As now Bogaerts retreats to his normal spot.
Big gap in left center field right now, where the Red Sox defense is set up in the outfield for Pilar. Any ball in that gap, a man can score from first base. Fastball
on the ground towards short. Bogaerts will touch second and end the inning. A run for the Blue Jays. Red Sox lead it 4-1 through 4 innings. For every Red Sox hit in June, Echo Store Technologies donated $50 to the Sean Thornton Foundation. Echo Store is proud to assist in helping find a cure for Parkinson's disease and pediatric cancer. With this, Echo Store Technologies has decided to go above and beyond and donate $12,500. Stay tuned during tomorrow's game to see which charity Echo Store will be teaming up with in the month of July. To learn more, visit echostore.com. Echo Store Technologies, your data center solutions provider. David Ortiz popping up the first pitch. He sees Gianna Navarro will make the catch. Poppy on one pitch, retired.
Between innings, John Farrell going up to Eduardo Rodriguez, Carl Willis there, and I'm quite sure, I'm almost positive they're telling him what he was doing again. And as we talked at the top, Don, it's tough to break habits. And in the heat of competition, it's very difficult to break those habits. And that's, I'm sure, what John Farrell's talking about right now.
Pitch runs inside on Sandoval. They changed the hands, but apparently not everything.
Not the head.
Down the left field line, and Colabello on the run. Will not have a play. Went as far as he could into a slide.
And just to make it clear, if you didn't see it earlier, we can maybe show you again the head position on an off-speed pitch, a changeup or a slider. And the hands are different, as you can see, but you see him looking down at the ground, and that's exactly what he was doing that last inning. Not the hands. The hands were good. They were down around the belt. But he was clearly looking down at the ground on off-speed pitches. So that's something I'm sure they picked up. in the dugout. Hopefully it's corrected, but as I mentioned, for a young pitcher, that's tough to correct in the heat of competition.
Fly ball to left. Colabello makes his way in. Sandoval's the second out of the fifth. Get immediate care without leaving the ballpark at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center First Aid Station, located behind Section 12 on the lower concourse. BIDMC is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. 2 down, 4 in a row. Retired by Redmond. He's quieted the Red Sox offense since coming in this game in the 3rd inning. Napoli has been on twice tonight. A walk in the first, a single to center in the 3rd. His walk in the first produced a run. Looks at strike 1. The RBI for Napoli back in the first with bases loaded. Walk is 30th. A one-hopper pick on the back end by Valencia. Nicely done. Looks like he may catch out of the air. Short hops and gets Napoli, and we're halfway through. Red Sox up 4-1 lead. Jays. Eduardo Rodriguez back to the mound. First pitch strike into Devin Travis, leading it off here for the Jays. Their second baseman had bounced out to shortstop in the 3rd inning.
And a few more sliders the last couple of innings from Rodriguez. Early in the game, it was basically fastballs and changeups. There's a slider again, but that time just a little bit outside.
He's at 68 pitches here to begin the 5th inning. Newman's at 2-2. And up a total of 3 hits. Infield hit by Reyes in the 1st inning. A double by Encarnacion. The RBI single by Chris Colabello to get the Blue Jays on the board. In the air to right field. Hit pretty well. Bradley Jr. going back. So is Betts, and that's going to be off the wall. Betts will fire it back in, but Devin Travis starts this 5th inning with a double to right center.
A good opposite field power there by Travis as he takes one off the wall at the 375 marker. You know, it seems like the ball, even though we're inside, is traveling better to right center field than it is to left center field. As the slider right over the plate right there, and to the opposite field goes Travis for the leadoff double here in the 5th inning. So the first 3 innings were pretty much uneventful for Rodriguez. The last couple eventful.
Double to get this 5th inning started. Now Reyes. The infield hit in the first, popped out to his counterpart at shortstop, and Bogarts in the 3rd. Lead on that 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
A good pitch down and in to Reyes. 95, as you mentioned, Don. Good velocity. Supposed to be away, but still got the swing and miss.
Fouled off to the right. Staying with the gas. 1-2. Second time in 5 innings the Jays have had the lead runner on. Rodriguez worked his way around it in the first. Blue Jays have stranded 4 men through the first 4 innings. On the ground to 3rd, Sandoval, the good pick. He will fire to first for the out. Hitting to 3rd is Travis, and he will get there. Second time in 2 innings they've been able to do that.
Yeah, that's good base running because, you know, Sandoval has to go so far to his right, and he's so deep and has to make such a long throw that that runner at second base, once he releases the baseball, it just takes off, and you get no chance of getting it. You see where Sandoval is, and it's a long throw to first base. That's heads-up base running at second to get to third base in less than 2 outs. Nobody's fault there, just good base running by Travis.
Now you got to deal with Josh Donaldson. At this point, 0 for 2 in the game.
See the runner at second base. Once Sandoval releases the baseball to first base, he's got plenty of time. It's going to take 2 long throws to get him, and that's not going to happen.
Donaldson off on that front foot. Off balance cut there. Full 1-1.
Very good changeup by Rodriguez that time. Moving it down and away. Spinning away from Donaldson. You got him on a changeup last time to strike out.
Travis at 3rd, 1 out here in the 5th inning. Fouled back, and it's 2-2. Donaldson batting now. Jose Bautista waiting on deck. Red Sox got 2 in the first, a run in the second, a run in the third. The Jays finally get on the board in the bottom of the 4th. Now threatening to do more damage here in the 5th. Swinging a foul tip for strike 3. Donaldson strikes out. Good time to pick up his 3rd K.
Yeah, and the last time he got him on a changeup, but just the opposite. This time he goes to the fastball up and away to get the strikeout. So Donaldson, he may have in his mind, he came off speed to me last time with 2 strikes. That time he was late on the fastball swing.
Yankee Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance.
That's a huge strikeout with a man at third base.
2 down here in the 5th. Here is Bautista, the first meeting at the mound. Napoli will join the conversation. Bautista walked in the first inning, flied out to center in the 4th inning. .311 with runners in scoring position, even better lately. Strike called, and it evens at 1-1. Bautista now 0 for his last 22 at the plate as he fouls it off to the right and is down 1-2.
Steady diet of fastballs too here. 95, 96 miles an hour. Fastball up and away from Bautista.
Dancing down the third base line by Travis, and falling down on the delivery is Rodriguez.
Wow,
he went right down.
Lucky he didn't turn an ankle on that right there. Boy,
That he did.
Yeah, that front foot just turned over on him. The right foot.
Full count now to Bautista, blocked there by Swihart, able to keep it in front of him. The base runner at third. Fifth full count of the ball game for Eduardo Rodriguez. Bautista grounds it foul. Power versus power here. Last pitch at 96. This led this inning off with a double. Ground out to strikeout sense for Rodriguez. Now Bautista hits it on the ground to short. Bogarts throws him out, and Rodriguez works his way around a leadoff double through 5. Red Sox have a 4-1 lead. break down the game, and you'll hear from Eduardo Rodriguez. Whatever, whenever, wherever. Who but WB Mason? 6th inning, 4-1. Red Sox have the lead. Alejandro De Aza leading it off here in the 6th. He has walked and had a bunt single. His walk with the bases loaded in the 1st inning. Picked up an RBI, his 19th of the year.
That's interesting talking about that bunt. You know, Don, a lot of times you wouldn't even consider a bunt on an artificial surface, but this one is so slow right now.
A little different.
Yeah, you're not afraid to try to drop one down.
Bo Schultz warming up in the pen for the Blue Jays. Popped up mile high, foul ground. Encarnacion and Travis. Encarnacion makes the catch. De Aza fouls out for the first out of the 6th inning. Time now to check out the results of tonight's Dunkin' Donuts poll question. We asked, should the All-Star game determine home field advantage for the World Series? A lot of no.
I love this.
80% no.
That's a mandate. I like your idea, Don.
Take the interleague record. You have some 300 games between the two teams, and whoever ends up with a better record at the end of the year should have it.
Why not?
Seems to make sense. I was going to drop it on Rob Manfred when we had him on at Fenway, but I left it out. I figure he's got enough on his plate without me telling him what he should do.
He's always welcome listening to what you have to say. I'm sure of that.
This one fouled off to the left out of play.
I mean, to me, the All-Star game should be just an exhibition for guys to go have fun, see, display the great talent that they have. When you have voting like you have, you don't always have the top guys in. There's guys that play 2 at-bats, they're gone. I mean, why? How? It just shouldn't matter. It should be fun.
And if it counts, shouldn't the best players from Major League Baseball be there? Because under the system right now, every team has to be represented. And let's be honest, not every team has an all-star.
That's right. And the other thing is, too, why shouldn't they play the whole game? And you have a bench, right?
All 9.
I mean, if it really counts,
all 9.
Make it like a real game.
Yeah.
But it's never going to be that way, and it shouldn't be that way. Get a kick out of the advertisement, and in this year it counts. Come on, give me a break.
Big Swihart 0 for 2 in the game. He is struck out, flying out to center. And there's a ground ball, couple of hops to Travis. 2 down here in the 6th inning. Redmond's done a very nice job and done exactly what John Gibbons has needed.
Exactly right, Don. They know with their offense, you just keep us in the game, we've got a swinging chance, and he has done that since coming into this game. Red Sox got to keep the pedal to the metal.
He's retired 7 in a row. 2 down for Jackie Bradley Jr. 1 for 2. The one part, his first home run of the year. That Redmond had been called up for the 3rd time this year from Buffalo. In Buffalo, had a 4.81 earned run average. I think he was dominating in AAA at the time of his 3rd recall.
Ouch! Right off the right leg of the umpire. Little. Completely missed the spot here. It's supposed to go away, and it went right off the shin. It looked like a little, cause he's got shin guards underneath, but that didn't help a lot.
Outside for ball 3. And he walks Bradley. So there's the first walk allowed by Blue Jays pitching since the first inning, when the starter Marco Estrada walked 4. And that's going to do it here for Redmond. John Gibbons out to make the change here with 2 down in the 6th inning. So Schultz coming in. Redmond departing. To going 3 1/3.
Well, the Red Sox tonight scoring early. It started early with an error on Kravitz, the second baseman, to allow Mookie Betts, the leadoff hitter, to get on base. Napoli walks to bring in a run. De Aza walks to bring in another run. And then Jackie Bradley hooks a changeup for a home run, and then a bomb by David Ortiz. Ooh. That's how the Red Sox got their 4 so far in this game.
Bo Schultz, 8th appearance of the year, 1.50 earned run average. He's worked in 12 innings with 8 strikeouts. And opponents hitting at 143 against Schultz. Todd Redmond went 3 2/3, giving him 2 hits, responsible for the runner at first. And Bradley Jr., who he walked. Walkabout did not strike anybody out. Did a very good job coming in the 3rd inning and departing here in the 6th. Send it down to Guerin.
Thanks, Don. I had the chance to catch up with Eduardo Rodriguez, who told me that his favorite TV show is River Monsters on Animal Planet because he loves to fish. Rodriguez said he grew up fishing in Venezuela, and it's something that he still loves to do with his family. He also told me that he really enjoyed fishing with several of his teammates during spring break. Now, Don Rodriguez said he would love to go fishing in Boston. Maybe you could take him out on the Sun Dolphin.
That's possible. That's come to Rhode Island to get on the Sun Dolphin, but he can do that. I'm also a River Monsters fan. Jeremy Wade, outstanding. You watch River Monsters at all?
I've never heard.
Oh, it's tremendous.
Never heard.
Really, really good. 2 down here in the inning. Jackie Bradley Jr. at first base. Schultz dealing with Mookie Betts. Foul back, and it's 0-1. Schultz is not allowed to run in his last 9 innings of work, while holding opponents to just a 100 opponent batting average. Opponents 3 for their last 30 against Schultz. Look at his arsenal.
A lot of speed pitches there. You can see the breaking ball 40% of the time.
Check swing grounder towards second base, and Travis will get it there just in time to get the speedy Mookie Betts to end the top of the 6th. 4-1 the score from Toronto. 4-1. Red Sox have the lead over the Blue Jays as we head here to the bottom of the 6th inning. Maybe 7 pitches for Eduardo Rodriguez. Encarnacion gets under this and pops it up right side, sending Napoli to the line to make the catch for the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning. So for Eduardo Rodriguez, pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 run. Walked 2, struck out 3. 88 pitches, 52 for strikes. Retired 4 in a row. And will now deal with Chris Colabello. He's bounced to second and had an RBI single to center. Tommy Lane and Matt Barnes in the pen for Boston. Colabello evens the count at 1-1.
A great changeup right there. Again, spinning down and away from Colabello. Colabello got a base hit on a changeup last time up, but this last pitch too tough to hit. Great movement right at the end.
Sprays it foul off to the right. Valencia on deck with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
It's interesting too. If you watch Swihart, there's nobody on base, and he's giving multiple signs. So obviously there's some question on whether the Blue Jays could be picking up signs. There's always been a question up here about the Blue Jays, as long as I can remember. You see just not one sign, and multiple signs with nobody on base.
On the ground up the middle, Holt slides, gets up the throw. He's going to get there in time to get Colabello. Nice play by Brock Holt. It's time for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's Furniture, the store of the Boston Red Sox. Tom? All right, Tom, thanks very much. Nice play by Brock Holt for the second out of this, the bottom of the 6th inning. Here the Red Sox have a 4-1 lead. Valencia 0 for 2 tonight. And down on the count, 0-2. And it is average. Swing and a miss, strikes out Valencia. It's 4 strikeouts for Rodriguez. He's retired the last 6 and has a 4-1 lead through 6 innings. Tonight after Red Sox coverage on NESN Sports Today, Adam Peller and L. Duncan will get you caught up on yet another Bruins trade. That's tonight on NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Eduardo Rodriguez through the first 6 innings of this contest. 4-1, Red Sox on top. And Brock Holt leading it off for Boston. Well, the success the Red Sox have had on this trip, Brock Holt is 3 for 18 so far on the road trip for Boston. Now get himself a base hit into left field. Leading runner on for the Red Sox here in the 7th inning. H.B. Hood salutes the Red Sox Foundation for its commitment to 4,900 accredited charities throughout New England. Holt's on to begin things in the 7th, and it brings up Xander Bogaerts. Walk and a run scored in the first. He is fly to right and fouled out to the right fielder. Schultz was able to get the final out of the 6th inning, back out there to start the 7th for the Jays.
Holt 4 steals on the season, has been caught 1 time.
Close eye on him, and Encarnacion holding him on.
Bogaerts again looking down at third base. Get the signs from Brian Butterfield. Oh, by the way, since I don't know, what was it, Sunday? When you were getting all over me, and I was getting all over me about the way I pronounce things.
Yes.
I have gotten more tweets about words that I mess up. And I don't think anybody can understand me. It's been unbelievable.
Anything surprise you on there that you didn't realize that you...
A lot of them did, yes.
In there for a strike, and it's 2-1. I always seem to know what you're talking about, though.
Well, 15 years.
Right.
I mean, you get this kind of language, I guess. It's pretty bad. Much worse than I thought.
On the corner. Andrew didn't think so. Evens the count at 2-2.
A good pitch, though, there to Bogaerts on the outside part of the plate.
On the ground down the third base line, a foul ball. That was close down that third base line.
That was really close down the third base line. And Valencia very fortunate that that ball was in foul territory because he didn't handle it well. Big bounce down the third base line and just to the right of the bag. Good call by the third base umpire.
Tony Randazzo right on the line. Swinging a foul at the plate.
Breaking ball stays inside, and the foul tip. Gets a piece of Navarro, it looks like, right off the foot.
Runner goes. It's chopped towards second base, and the tag no. Gets the out at first. Did not get Holt, who gets into second base safely. Looked like Travis was just going to apply the tag there as he was headed over towards the bag at second to get the ball.
Yeah, I think what happened is Brock Holt went into the slide and then he couldn't tag him, and it looks like he might have got him with his cleats as he went into second base. You can see Travis hobbling around a little bit. Let's see. Picks the ball up. There is no tag. No tag at all right there. And all he can get is the out at first base. So the Red Sox get a man in scoring position. Will they pitch to Ortiz with first base open?
So runner at second base with one down. David will take a pitch outside for ball one. Slide out to center field in the first. Homer, solo shot in the third, his 13th home run of the year, and then fouled out to the catcher, Deanna Navarro, in the fifth inning. Did he go? They check. No, he did not, says Tony Randazzo.
David's pretty good with first base open. If you take another look at David Ortiz's home run, which was a long one here tonight, but he's pretty good with first base open when he knows pitches are trying to work around him. He doesn't usually chase bad pitches in that situation.
On the ground up the middle, ranging is Reyes from the shift. He got throw to first in time. Amazed by how much he got on that throw. He really never planted, and he was headed towards the outfield when he made that throw.
He got that right. I mean, that's impressive. Look how far he's got to go. He's in the shift, and watch where he throws it from and the angle of his body. There you see the shift on. There's the range going to his right, and with heading toward left field, makes that throw to first base to get Ortiz. So the Red Sox need a 2-out hit now to get to him. Brock Holt. Reyes just saved the run.
Two down here in the seventh inning with Holt at third base and Pablo Sandoval swung at the first pitch and fouling it off to the left. Walk in the first inning for Sandoval, followed by two flyouts to left field. Tommy laying up alone now in the Red Sox pen. Chopped off the plate towards second base. Travis with an off-balance throw in time to get Sandoval. And Schultz gets out of the jam. Red Sox lead Holt at third. Have a 4-1 lead to the bottom of the seventh. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. The beautiful city of Toronto, site of Game 2 of this 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. CN Tower, it stands right up over the Rogers Center. Tommy Lane in the game here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Eduardo Rodriguez tonight, 97 pitches. Does not come out here for the bottom of the 7th inning. 31st appearance for Lane, 0-1, 3.04 ERA. Sitting at 209 against Lane. Navarro with a check swing, foul ball.
Well, nice job by Rodriguez tonight. He bounces back from that tough outing last time out. The last time he faced Toronto, they let him up in that game, and he bounced back tonight and pitched very, very well. And also, got some work done, some things that they worked on between starts. He was able to accomplish for the most part.
Ends up going 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. There's a ground ball. Napoli ranging over. Lane covers in plenty of time to get Navarro. Between innings, Ron Farrell letting him know. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. He walked 2, struck out 4. Arts with a chance to get his 4th win of the year, 3-2 individually on the year. Need some help from the pen. There's Kevin Pillar. Strike 1. Pillar lined out to second base in the 2nd inning. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. Red Sox have further action. Alexi Agondo warming in the pen. Last saw Tommy Lane in 2/3 of an inning on Friday night at Tampa Bay. Line just past the glove of Sandoval to the left. Hot shot off the bat of Pillar's got himself a 1-out base hit.
Well, the more you watch Kevin Pillar, the more you like him. Defensively in the outfield, offensively. Rocket right here by Sandoval. Sandoval close to the line, but that ball to his left. And hit so hard that I did not have time to get to it.
One out, one on. Devin Travis. He was grounded to short, doubled to right center field. Down the right field line, foul.
So Pillar taking his lead over to first base. He can run 12 steals. Won a couple of times. Leonard Rivera, third base coach.
Down and in, 2-1. Tommy Lane has now appeared in more big league games this year than he did in 2014 or the year before. There's a ground ball towards first base. Napoli will need Lane, who covers for the out as Pillar takes second base. Second 3-1 combination on an out this inning as Pillar takes second base.
And Napoli again, this time not that far from the bag, able to give that nice underhand flip up high, something that Lane can see, and then pick up the bag for the out.
Reyes coming out. It is Swihart to the mound again.
Reyes from the right side of the plate, a 190 hitter, hitting left-handed 293. So you want to keep him on the right side right now.
Kevin Pillar in scoring position at second base. 2 down here in the 7th inning. Reyes singled in the first inning, an infield hit. Since the hit, a pop out to short, ground out to third. In the air to deep left field. Piazza going back at the wall. He leaps and it's gone. Two-run home run for Jose Reyes. It's a one-run game now. The Red Sox lead it 4-3, but Tommy Lane has just given up a 2-run shot.
Reyes picks up his first home run hitting right-handed this season. Fastball down out over the plate and right over that left field fence for the home run. So there's the long ball coming into play for the Blue Jays.
Second home run allowed by Tommy Lane this season. He will exit. Alexi Ogando will enter. So Lane ends up going 2/3 of an inning. Allows 2 hits and 2 runs on the 2-run shot by Reyes. Walks, no strikeouts, and it's a 1-run game now. Send it down to Guerin.
Thanks, Don. Let's take a look at the Red Sox upcoming schedule. Tomorrow is Canada Day, and the Sox and Jays will play an afternoon game. First pitch is slated for 1:07 p.m. Rick Porcello is on the hill for the Sox, opposed by veteran Mark Burnley. The series wraps up on Thursday night, followed by an 8-game homestand for the Sox before the All-Star break. Don?
All right, Garrett, thanks very much. Tonight's game summary is brought to you by Xfinity. Eduardo Rodriguez, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. Chance to grab a win, but things have gotten a little tighter here. Tonight the Red Sox have got a couple home runs. David Ortiz is 13. Jackie Brown Jr. his first. Marco Estrada chased from this game after 2 1/3. And Reyes more recently hitting a 2-run home run, his 4th of the year. And it is a 4-3 lead right now. Josh Donaldson will be coming up here to face Ogando. Ogando last worked on Sunday at Tampa Bay. 33rd appearance, 2-0 with a 3.00 earned run average. 33 innings, 24 strikeouts. And opponents hitting 217 against him. Josh Donaldson 0 for 3 in the game, but all that was against Eduardo Rodriguez. Strike 1 from Ogando. 2 for 12 in his career against Ogando. Both operating out of the American League West for a while. The Rangers for Ogando, and of course the A's for Donaldson. Swing and a miss. And the challenge there, 96.
Yeah, Ogando knows he's probably in here for 1 out in this ball game, and he's letting it loose. 96 miles an hour with that fastball up and away from Donaldson.
97 from Agondo.
Evens up now at 2-2. Stand away from him. Now Agondo ranking second on the Red Sox staff in relief outings, 33 out of the pen. Had been ahead 0-2. It is a full count now.
That time he tries to slide it to see if Donaldson will chase. He did not. 3-2 count. Here's the breaking ball just off the outside part of the plate at 90.
Nobody up in behind Agondo right now in the pen. Donaldson hits it sharply to the backhand for Holt. His throw will be in time. Nice play by Brock Holt back up the middle. The 2-run shot of the inning for Reyes. It's tighter now. It's 4-3 Red Sox. Low fare now on Southwest.com. Your local Subaru dealers. Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Thank you, New England, for 60 great years. And by the Kia Sorrento. Well, Blue Jays get 2 back in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's on to the 8th. 4-3. Red Sox on top. Napoli to lead it off. Alejandro De Aza, Blake Swihart scheduled to bat in the inning. Swinging a foul tip for strike 1. Action for the Blue Jays. Steve Delabar up in the pen. He's been working 8th innings for the Blue Jays. Not in this 8th inning. Generally, when they have a lead. Napoli didn't think so. Down 0-2. All 4 of Schultz's putouts in this game have been via the ground. 4 ground ball outs. Betts, Bogarts, Ortiz, Sandoval since he's come into the game. 2-2. Fouled off to the right, out of play. Stay tuned following WB Mason Extra Innings Live, the Red Sox final presented by Uno's. TC Eck and Steve Lyons to preview Rick Porcello's start against the Blue Jays. They play day baseball here tomorrow. Game 3 of the 4-game series. Swing and a miss. Napoli strikes out for the first out of the 8th inning.
Well, good curveball that time from Schultz. On the fastball, a slider, and the curveball that time to Napoli. It gets him to reach on that breaking ball. I tell you, the bullpen has done a very, very good job for the Blue Jays tonight.
Todd Redmond, 3 1/3, gave up 2 hits, no runs. Now an inning and 2/3 from Bo Schultz. That was the first out of the 8th. Alejandro De Aza. Walk in the first at a bunt single on the third base line in the third and fouled out to Edwin Encarnacion at first base in the 6th inning. To first, and Encarnacion tags the bag with a high hop, 2 down.
Encarnacion really does a lot of DHing nowadays, but still a pretty good first baseman. Only a couple of errors on the season. Big hop right there. That's kind of an easy play, but he does a very decent job over there every time we see him at first base.
2 outs in the 8th inning. Blake Swihart 0 for 3 from the number 8 spot in the Red Sox order tonight. The Sox have not scored since the 3rd inning. The momentum has shifted here in Toronto tonight. Tomorrow at 12:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live presented by DCU. TC Eck and Steve Lyons on the profile on Blake Swihart. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Fouled off to the left. Jackie Bradley Jr. on deck. Two and two now. On the ground right side, Devin Travis throws out Swihart. Red Sox down in order. In fact, Schultz has retired 6 in a row. It's 4-3 Boston. Be sure to follow Nesson on Instagram to see all sorts of cool pictures this Red Sox season. Our followers continue to grow every day. Let's see if we can't get 50,000 before the end of the summer. Follow Nesson on Instagram today. We head here to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bautista leading it off.
Gondo back out there, which tells me that either Tazawa or Uehara is not available tonight. That's the combination you would see in a one-run game. Tazawa then Uehara to close it out if you get the opportunity.
It's Robbie Ross who's warming in the pen right now behind Gondo.
Yeah, so one of those two is not available in this game tonight. Now, last night Tazawa was not available last night.
Uehara getting limbered up, but has not thrown a pitch yet.
But it looks like he is available. So it must be Tazawa again.
On the ground left side, Sandoval racing in and in time. One out in the 8th. Have a son or daughter who wants to learn more about baseball or the Red Sox? Visit NessonClubhouse.com. It has videos, games, and a whole lot more. It's fun, free, and easy to use. Visit NessonClubhouse.com today. One out in the 8th. Edwin Encarnacion, the batter. Encarnacion 2 for 11 against Gondo. You don't think it's a possibility that they would just want to keep Tazawa away from the Blue Jays because of the problems he's had against them, do you?
I really don't think so, no.
.50 ERA against the Blue Jays this year. For whatever reason, they've had his number.
You do bring up a good point, though. With those numbers, not very good against this club.
Problem is, you have a 4-game series against
this
team.
I mean, somewhere along the line, you got to see him, don't you?
Delabar and their closer, Roberto Osuna, up.
No fastball there for Encarnacion on the 2-0 count. The slider from Gondo.
Gondo getting Donaldson to end the 7th. Starts the 8th. Popped up, foul ground. That will reach the seats. Colabello waiting on deck for Toronto here in the 8th. Did he go? No, says Phil Cussy, first base umpire.
That was a good breaking too by Gondo. Got on top of it a little bit more, had more of a downward action to it, but Encarnacion able to control ahead of the bat.
On the ground to third base, Sandoval's got it. Encarnacion is out number 2 of the 8th inning. Look at the way this inning sets up, Jared. Really, the 8th is the guys top part of the order. Bautista, Encarnacion, and Colabello.
Yeah, you started last inning by getting Donaldson out, a guy that can take you deep, and then Bautista and Encarnacion. I mean, those 3 guys in a row, awfully tough to pitch to.
And tonight it has been Gondo doing the job so far. 3 ground ball outs since coming into this game. Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion. Now Chris Colabello, 1 for 3 tonight. RBI single back in the 4th inning. One around. Home plate umpire Will Little making the call. Going away, a ball and a strike. Eduardo Rodriguez started this game. Pitcher of record right now. 6 innings, 1 run. Tommy Lane gives up 2 runs on a 2-run home run by Jose Reyes in 2/3 of an inning of work. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Another good breaking ball by Agondo, keeping that ball away from Colabello. Trying to stay away from his power.
Colabello with 6 home runs on the year. That's with Danny Valencia in behind him. Actually, no, it's Justin Smoke who's come out on deck. So he would pinch hit for Valencia to get that far. Smoke's got very good numbers against Agondo too. 7 for 16 against him. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out Colabello. We head for the 9th. Red Sox on top 4-3. House, TC Eck and Steve Lyons will preview Rick Porcello's start against the Blue Jays. 9th inning. Jackie Bradley Jr. takes strike 1 from the new Blue Jays pitcher Steve Delabar. 21st appearance, 2-0, 1.37 earned run average, 22 strikeouts, 8 walks. Opponent sitting at 138 against Delabar. Bradley down 0-2. Homered in the 2nd, popped out to short in the 3rd, walked in the 6th inning. The bullpen has been terrific tonight for the Blue Jays. A 3 1/3 from Todd Redmond, who gave up 2 hits and no runs. Bo Schultz, 2 1/3, gave up a hit and no runs. Hey, Red Sox fans, before you head out on the summer vacation, make sure you download the schedule into your favorite desktop, web, or mobile calendar program by visiting NESN.com/schedule now. Swing and a miss very late on the 95-mile-an-hour fastball was Bradley for the first out of the night.
Yeah, keeping that fastball away from Bradley, too, for the strikeout. Everything away, as you can see, on the Amica pit zone. And the last pitch, 95 miles an hour, just off the outside edge. No contact from Bradley.
Koji Uehara getting ready for the bottom of the ninth inning. Valencia, or actually Smoke, had come out on deck. Valencia is still in the game, though, at third base, and will not make that catch. It's up over him and down the left field line. Valabello will throw to second base, and safe at second is Mookie Betts with a one-out double and in scoring position with one away here in the ninth.
Another run would be huge here for the Red Sox, and Betts, 2 hits in the ball game, a big double right here to get into scoring position. They wanted that ball away. It stayed inside. That's where Mookie likes it. And right past the glove of Valencia at third base. From that point there, Betts knew he had 2 bases.
Now Brock Holt, who had a base hit to left his last time up, after flying out 3 times in the game tonight. Right down the middle at 95 miles an hour. 17 games, Delabar has allowed just 2 earned runs. That's in 16 innings, and opponents during that time hitting at 138. He's jumped ahead of Holt, 0-2. .138 opponent batting average, ranked 7th lowest among American League relievers. Xander Bogaerts on deck, 1 out. Mookie Betts at second base. Yanked it down and in, and it's 2-2.
Brock Holt tonight's had a nice night defensively at second base. He's made a couple of plays up the middle that looked like were going to be base hits, and he turned them into outs, eliminating base runners.
On the ground right side, a tough hop, but Encarnacion gets it. Delabar just there in time to get home. 3-1 on the putout as Betts takes third base on the grounder to the right side, 2 down.
And the job for the pitcher Delabar when he makes that play at first base is to immediately turn around and check out where Mookie Betts is. Make sure he's going back to third base and not trying to score. Nice play by Encarnacion. Then watch Delabar tags the bag right away. You got to check that man at third base.
2 down, and Xander Bogaerts the batter. Red Sox very much would like to obtain some insurance here in the top half of the ninth. Bogaerts to right center field, struck pretty well. Pilar on the run. Pilar will get there. Good running catch. Robs Bogaerts of extra bases, and the Red Sox have an insurance run. Let's take a 4-3 lead to the bottom of the ninth. It's a home run by David Ortiz. The last for Big Poppy is 13th of the year, back in the 3rd inning. Time give the Red Sox 4-0 advantage. Right now it is the difference in this game. So Big Poppy looking on now as Koji Uehara takes over for the Red Sox here for the bottom of the 9th inning. Uehara's 31st appearance of the year, 2-3, 3.00 earned run average. He is 17 out of 19 in save opportunities. And a tight one here as he takes over in the bottom of the 9th. Danny Valencia leads it off here for the Blue Jays. Gondo had gone an inning and a third with a strikeout. 2 for 4 against Uehara with a triple and an RBI. Valencia lifts a fly ball to right field. Jackie Bradley Jr. makes the catch for the first out of the 9th. Take a look at the Toyota play of the game tonight. And a hot shot right back at Eduardo Rodriguez with the catch. Up the bat, Diana Navarro. One out here in the 9th, and here is Diana Navarro. Besides that line out, he's walked and grounded out. And he takes strike one. The fastball that time from Koji Uehara at the bottom of the zone.
And started Valencia off with a splitter. Starts off Navarro with a fastball.
In the air to right field again. Jackie Bradley Jr. again. 2 down in the 9th. Valencia and Navarro both going to right. Both retired. Kevin Pillar just made a very good running catch out of right center field that Rob Bogart sent last inning.
Covered an awful lot of ground to make that catch. That ball left the bat. I thought it was going to be a gapper.
0 for 3 in his career against Uehara with a couple of strikeouts. On the ground, will it come back fair again? No. All kinds of spin on it as it made its way down the first base line. Oh, 1 pitch. Swing and a miss coming out of his shoes at that fastball, but couldn't catch up to it.
Yeah, Koji elevating the fastball at 88 miles an hour. Ooh.
Foul down the right field line, out of play.
Tries it again on purpose. That time contact made, but fouled off. He's got him set up high. Let's see if he goes back to the split it down. High again.
Too high.
Last 3 pitches have been up in the zone by Uehara, trying to get him to chase.
Awkward swing there. We got a piece.
That was a split after 3 high fastballs. Then he comes back to the split down and just checks his swing and fouls it off. That's fouling off a good pitch right there.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the 9th inning. Pillar fouls it back. Another fastball up.
He's playing north and south with him, isn't he? Back upstairs again.
North seems dangerous. I prefer south at this point.
Well, you might see South right now. You might see a splitter.
Especially with North, who's at 88. The 1-2.
Now there's your South, Don. Just missed outside.
2-2. Popped up. They're coming from everywhere. Sandoval. Now Bogaerts makes the catch and the Red Sox win. A 1-2-3 ninth inning for Koji Uehara. The Red Sox have won 3 straight games. And they have taken 4 of the first 5 games of this road trip, as the Red Sox have taken the first 2 of this series against the Blue Jays. Home runs tonight for Bradley Jr. and for Big Papi David Ortiz. A win tonight for Eduardo Rodriguez, and another save for Koji Uehara. As right now, Tom Caron, Red Sox playing good baseball on this road trip.